The subject is Ishwar Pranidhan. There may be many interpretations of the term Ishwara, but it commonly means the controller of this universe. He who controls the thought waves of this universe is Ishwara. Therefore, Purushottam and Ishwara are not identical conceptions. In philosophy, the word Ishwara has one more meaning. It is the witnessing counterpart of the objective Prakriti. Where the static principle is dominant, it is the witnessing entity of the causal world. It is the magnified essence of Pragya. It is an entity free from all bondages. Klesh karm vipakashay paramist purush vishesha Ishwara. Whatever may be the minor differences to a sadhaka, Ishwar is understood to be nothing other than Saguna Brahma or God. Pranidhan means to understand clearly or to adopt something as a shelter. Therefore, Ishwar Pranidhan means to establish oneself in the cosmic idea. To accept Ishwar as the only ideal of life, the physical body constituted of 5 fundamental factors does not disobey the laws of the cycle of his thought waves, extroversial or introversial. It is your mind that violates them, and this results in the degeneration of the unit consciousness, because unit consciousness is reflected in the mind and nowhere else. So Ishwar Pranidhan means to move with accelerated speed towards the supreme shelter, God. Therefore, Ishwar Pranidhan is absolutely based on bhav or ideation. It is a mental effort in its entirety. Shouting at the top of one's voice for a big crowd to assemble or showing devotion for beating drums, etc. has got no place in it. Your Ishwar is not deaf. Don't shout to convey your mental feelings to him. One will have to detach the mind from worldly propensities while meditating upon Ishwar God. First, the mind will have to be withdrawn from the limited I feeling and focused at a point. Then one will take the thought of the microcosm around that point with the help of the ideation of the mantra prescribed according to one's own sanskara, that is a mental potentiality. He is the subject, subtlest entity. Therefore, he can be realized only through feeling and by no other means. Perhaps you know that japa is of 3 kinds: Vachanik, Upansu and Mansik. Vachanik japa, the attempt to attract his attention by reciting prayers in a loud voice, is absolutely meaningless. Respect, affection, sincerity and devotion are attributes of the inner heart and are not to be expressed loudly in the language of flatters. Vachanik jap therefore serves no purpose. However, when a desire for vocal expression of an internal feeling is aroused, the divine touch can be expressed in sweet language in the form of a verse or song. As for example, the mantra Om Namaste Sate Sarva Lokasraya occurs to my mind. Mantras of this type are very good, but they cannot serve the purpose of auto-suggestion of Ishwar Pranidhan. Verses or mantras uttered in such a low tone that they are hardly audible are called Upansu Jap. Although this is better than Vachanik Jap, it cannot be considered an ideal style of Jap. Mental Jap is the best process of Ishwar Pranidhan. One's ideation should be expressed mentally and the mind should be its witnessing entity. If this mental jap is practiced regularly and properly, after learning the same from the competent teacher, the mind will progress in a particular flow, a forward movement on the path of Pratisanchar of Brahma. The speed of the mind generated by a sadhak by means of Ishwar Pranidhan is faster than the mental speed of Brahma, by which he is leading his psychic creations towards perfection through the path of Pratisanchar. When the mental flow of a spiritual aspirant moves along the introversial phase of macrocosmic meditation, once any motive force having the potentiality of divinity itself rises above all tendencies, all sanskaras, and proceeds towards eternal bliss. In this state, the mind is vibrated with cosmic feeling. The unexpected divine qualities of the higher glands find expression, and the resonance of the mind vibrates the nervous system. This gives rise to pious expressions in the physical body. In the case of those people whose occult feelings are not physically expressed due to causes associated with the nerves, the mental vibrations cause certain radical changes in the various glands within the body. These occult feelings are basically of 8 types: astambha or astounding, kamp, trembling, swed or sweating, swarved or hoarseness of voice, ashru, that is tears, romanch, horripilation, Vaivarna, change of color, and pralaya, fainting fit. There are other feelings associated with these matter feelings. For example, nritya, dancing, geeta, singing, bilanthan, rolling, krosan, weeping, hunkar, roaring, lalasrav, salivating, jrambhan, yawning, lokapech, tyag, indifference, attahasya, bursting into laughter, ghurnan, whirling, hiccup, hiccoughing, tanumotan, relaxation of the physical body, and dirghaswas, deep breathing. The probability of such signs is very little in the case of Vachanik and Upanshu japa. That expression is very natural in case of those who have learned the correct process of sadhana. These are associated with pleasure and not with pain of any kind. Therefore, those who do not practice sadhana should not be unnecessarily afraid of these signs. When such occult symptoms appear, the sadhaka also should not worry in any way. In this state, if the sadhakas pay attention to expressing those signs, their progress will be retarded. If they suppress these occult feelings, their bhav or ideation itself will be disturbed and their minds will become detached from Ishwar Pranidhan. You should always remember that cosmic feeling is above everything else. It is unwise to waste time paying attention to the external symptoms of the ideation or bhav. These occult symptoms disappear as the mind is detached from cosmic objectivity. When sadhakas attain the capability to establish themselves in cosmic feeling for long periods, those ideations are confined to the mental body only, and the physical body becomes calm to a great extent. It is desirable to practice various lessons of sadhana alone in a lonely place, but Ishwar Pranidhan can be practiced both individually as well as collectively. In collective Ishwar Pranidhan, the combined mental efforts work together and so give rise to the expression of the higher signs in a very short time. Therefore, like all other aspects of sadhana, Ishwar Pranidhan should positively be practiced alone in a lonely place, but in addition, do not miss the opportunity of collective Ishwar Pranidhan whenever some of you conveniently meet together. The indomitable mental force aroused as a result of collective Ishwar Pranidhan will help you solve all problems, great or small, on this earth. It is for this reason that you should always be jealous to attend weekly Dharma Chakra regularly.